ABC School is a preschool through 8th grade elementary school with a diverse student population. The school and district goals for this year is to increase standardized test scores for writing. My proposal is to leverage technology to differentiate writing instruction at the 3rd grade level. Chromebooks have been purchased for all 3rd grades in an attempt to develop keyboarding skills. Research supports the use of technology to provide students with immediate feedback during the writing process. Through the use of immediate feedback and one-to-one devices, I will use the workspace part of the Hapara management system to provide instant feedback in real time while the students are writing. Chromebooks were purchased over the summer for the 3rd grade students, and software is already in place for the school. So all teachers have access to the Hapara management system to manage the Chromebooks, and all teachers who have Chromebooks also have access to Workspace, which is part of Hapara. Workspace is way of presenting a project to students where everything can be found on one screen. This workspace is what I am proposing to introduce my new writing proposal. Because we already have Chromebooks and the management system has already been put in place for the entire school, this proposal will come at no extra cost to our school. This is an example of what the students will see on their screen. So the colored columns are called cards, and each card is for a different part of the project. So I always keep yellow for the goal of whatever project I'm working on. This is for an opinion writing piece. The resources are usually a graphic organizer in which they can write down their ideas for their writing. The green is always what they're actually working in. So that's going to be just a blank page, Word document, or a Google document, where there's a heading and then they just start typing their paper right in that Google Doc. And then the red is the rubric that will show how they will be assessed. This is an example of the screens that I can see. So I can see all 18 student screens at one time. So for example, on this one here, you can see that I've made 3 comments on her writing. So I have told her that she needs commas in a series, in which she fixed it. And then the next I said she had written started out that paragraph with for example. So I told her for example is usually followed by a statement sentence. So she was able to fix that right away. And then I gave her some other ideas on how to improve the writing. On this writing piece, on the first one that you see, I gave this student, make this a little bit bigger, I gave this student an idea to actually state their opinion in the first paragraph. So she was able to fix that right away as well. On her second paragraph, she started talking and started jumping around on her ideas. So I asked her to stay on topic on that paragraph, and she was able to do some editing there. Cognitivism is the learning theory that supports this proposal. Cognitivism is based on using feedback to guide and support accurate mental connections. It emphasizes practice and corrective feedback to modify behavior. It promotes mental processing and active involvement by the learner. This technology allows me to scaffold the writing process while it is happening. So I can comment on a student's writing and give some feedback, and they can take corrective measures right there in real time, which I think is a very powerful tool. These are the learning standards for writing and technology that this proposal fulfills. For writing, you'll notice that every standard begins with guidance and support. So with guidance and support, students learn organization in the writing process, the steps taken in the writing process, and they're using technology to publish their writing using keyboarding skills. For technology, students are learning to use technology to achieve their writing goals, to seek feedback and improve on their learning, and to publish their work. I am reaching these technology standards as a teacher by using an approach of instant feedback and reflecting on the process. I am providing access to every student to make it equitable. I am differentiating instruction using the technology, and I am applying instructional design to support the learning process. The individual goals for third graders were to reflect with details to a given prompt, develop a description and explanation, to give a logical progression in their writing using temporal words, and developing a narrative with good word choice and clear sentence structure. And of course, we're working on language mechanics all year. The biggest challenge with this proposal has been the element of time. This is the students' first introduction to keyboarding, so their skills are minimal, and it's been a very time-consuming task. The implementation process for this proposal is going to go from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. We started in August before school started, getting the devices loaded and training on Hapara with the technology specialist. In September, we trained the students on their keyboarding app. And in October, we attended a training with the technology specialist on Workspace. In November, we trained students on how to use Workspace, and we did our first and second writing assignments. December and January will be spent with expository writing. In February, we're going to start timing students to prepare them for the Aspire tests in April. So we're going to start with a 40-minute timed writing prompt in which we will give real-time feedback. In March and April, we're going to also do 40-minute timed writing prompts, but we will not be giving real-time feedback. Our feedback will be given at the end with a grade, so the students know how they are doing with a writing prompt similar to what they'll see on the Aspire test. Our technology specialist provided the training that we needed to use the software and load the Chromebooks. My partner teacher and I provided the scaffolding during the writing process, and we were involved in the assessment of both the writing samples and assessing the proposal. The students, of course, were involved in practicing their keyboarding skills and their writing skills throughout the year. After this new proposal was in place for a couple months, I developed a questionnaire to get some feedback from teachers as well as students. This one is from the teachers that were involved. They liked having everything in one place. They thought it was difficult at first to learn and then got easier. They liked being able to give the students feedback in real time. And they like the fact that students don't have any excuses anymore of their homework getting lost or losing the rubric, because everything's right there. If a student has internet access, they have access to the assignment. Here are just some comments from students, both positive and negative. Some positive comments were that it's easy to edit on the computer, that they couldn't forget their homework, it was always accessible, that it was hard to learn at first, but then became easier, and they liked getting comments during the writing process so that they could make corrections right away. Two of the negative comments that I received was that one student didn't have a computer at home, so I am correcting that by giving her a Chromebook that she could take home. The other problem is some found Workspace difficult to learn, especially to edit from the comments. So we're going to do another short training session with the students. These are some of the gains, the big gains that we've seen in the students compared to previous years, and some challenges that we still have left. But some of the big gains is, one is using capital letters at the beginning of a sentence, using complete sentences, so the amount of run-on sentences and sentence fragments that we see has significantly decreased. They are using commas where necessary and using ending punctuation, which has always been a struggle. Some of the things that we still need to work on in preparation for testing is students need to use richer language, create a more interesting introduction. Their organization still needs work and sequencing, and they need to develop their paragraphs with more details. The final assessment for this project is going to be in April of 2018, after we take the Aspire test, which is our standardized test. As you can see, 2016 and 2017, our scores were just under 30, and our goal for April will be to get those scores up to at least 60. And we are hopeful and confident that we can attain that goal. Thank you.